Recording, ready to go. We are live. Not really. Okay, let's do the countdown, I guess. From, you pick a number, I don't care. Start.
All right, 99, 99, 98,
98,
97,
97,
96,
96,
95, 94.
All right, we are back, guys. Hello.
Yeah,
What time of
wow.
day is it? It is
How long has it
afternoon.
been? Like 2 months or something?
It is
Where did you go?
afternoon. It feels like it's April, but it turns out it's nearly May. I mean June.
Bye, man. Oh,
Yeah.
June, sorry, yeah.
Everything's screwed up, man. Life is messed up. I'm getting sick and
you,
tired
you're
of.
all right, man? You
I don't,
disappeared.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I
just thought you'd play.
I don't know. I lost track of time. You know, I fell into a quantum realm and I came back 5 years later. So yeah, I thought I was in there for 2 minutes and then came back out. Yeah, yeah, not
Okay.
good, not good.
Everything's
Everything's
harder though?
everything's gone, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm a better coder now because I went to the quantum realm, so I know how to like
Yeah.
manipulate time and stuff. Like, you know, we're using endgame logic, right? So Ant-Man visits the quantum realm and then he knows everything about time travel. So yeah,
People's movies.
yeah, that's it.
I love
Okay,
web, so I'm using my work, and I have the what is this? The privacy.
dude, is that
Yeah,
Kimi no Nawa?
it is. It is.
Man, what a weeb. Do you ever get bullied
Weeb?
for being a weeb?
No, everyone's a weeb.
That's true.
I'm not even the biggest weeb. I swear there are like so many more secret weebs. They're not even secret. There's like huge weebs, and then there's like secret weebs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not a weeb. You're nowhere near. Like I've had friends in school as well. Like I mean, at least you have a job, right? Because if you're in high school and
That's-
you're obsessed with anime culture, then you are a true weeb. Like it's just you can't compare, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, weebs are cool. I think weebs are better coders. Yeah. Like a lot of the good coders are either weebs or musicians. Like, well, you know, they play music.
okay,
all day.
let's break down that statement. Okay, so let me see if this is true.
It's personal
A
experience.
lot of these good coders you speak of, do they also happen to be Asian?
Not. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe half of them. So yeah, that takes into account.
I guess that makes sense then, because like because a lot of Asians are weebs, right?
Asian, or
Asians,
Russian?
Chinese, Hong Kong people. Wait, Russians are weebs, really?
No, no. Oh, actually, yeah, actually.
For
Like
real,
one
that's
of the
crazy.
one of the like pretty much like staff engineers, like basically
What?
most senior coder. He's like a secret weeb.
Oh,
He said
wow.
the same thing about my background. He's like, "Is that Kimi no Nawa?" But I had a different one. I had 5 centimeters per second, and he
Ah,
mistaken Kimi
nah,
no
he's
Nawa.
not a weeb. He's not a weeb. He's just trying to be relatable.
He's close. He's
He
close.
probably manages like a whole like group of weebs, so he's like trying to be relatable, you know. Like 5 centimeters per second in Kimi no Nawa, like that's unforgivable, you know, completely different. So
Yeah,
that's a carnal sin.
well, this is.
Where did
I
we
feel
even
like
get
work
up to?
is like in workstation.
I don't even remember what we did. So I think last time we did some favoriting thing where you could like,
Oh no, we did lazy loading when we
oh,
scrolled.
did we?
Yeah,
Did it work?
So it did. I think we wrote our own lazy loader.
Ooh. Let me check because I have no idea. So if we go to network,
It's been on for 5 years, so I don't blame you.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, oh,
Yeah, the internet will stop lagging. Makes
Oh.
everything looks bad for me.
no, man, it's your internet. Your NBN's not good either. Like our NBN speeds are the same. I just realized. I thought you had like I don't know 100 or something, but I'm on
Oh,
I'm on the
I'm-
50 plan as well.
But
Yeah,
it's the bottleneck is Zoom. It's not gonna help.
yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Okay, what's next?
nice. No need One Piece. It's on the last arc, by the way.
Oh, is
My
it?
YouTube is.
Is it finally ending?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah. My YouTube is filled with like One Piece power rankings. I'm trying not to pick on it. But anyway, cool. So look, I really want to deploy this thing, but I still think we need to do two features. We need to make the infinite loading chain chapters, because like you get to the end, right, and right now the only action is back and click on the next chapter, which is kind of freaking lame. Yeah, so maybe we can chain the damn chapter, and maybe just like dump it on Surge or something. I don't know. But you can't because there's a backend there.
We could dump half of it on Surge, the other half. Man, some of these
Next to nothing.
some of the images are gone. Oh, that's
Because
not
your
how.
DB, what?
No, it's not the DB, man. It's the it's because we did like it's hot linked, so it breaks. But I'm pretty sure that that was an issue we fixed.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was an issue with fix, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it seems to be fine. I don't know. I think like sometimes it happens. Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate.
Can you
Nah, it's
open
fine.
it?
It's fine. We'll solve it later. So the idea now is that once you scroll to the bottom, what happens with the rest of it? We just keep loading stuff?
Yeah. So, well, I want to put a virtual page, so like half the height of your screen, just like basically a box that looks like a page,
Mm-hmm.
and it just has the chapter title and the chapter number, just as a spacer, basically a space. Yep, and then it just continues.
Okay, but I guess the main issue I'm considering is like, will there be a performance
Yes, there will.
downside?
You have to figure out what to do with the old images. You need to like you need to unload it eventually. Why didn't we use like something like React Virtualize instead? Why did we?
Oh, React Virtualize is so hard to get set up. Don't even bother.
Okay.
It's really
Yeah,
not. Yeah, it's
Well,
good if
anyway.
you have like an array of data, but if you don't, it's not exactly.
Well, yeah, eventually you need to unload the old chapters. And then when you scroll backwards, you also need to think about loading the old chapters as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how about instead of unloading or loading a chapter, we could unload the images. So once the images load, we know their width and height. So then when you scroll them too far up the page or too far down the page, they just become a square. Or just a div, like an empty div.
Okay, maybe that'll fix the performance issues. Fair enough.
Are you eating?
Yeah. Yeah. I just woke up. You woke me up.
Okay, alright. Man. Man, I'm on a diet, man. I gained weight. I can't eat anything. I don't know.
So much weight.
I don't know.
So we need we actually need like a getter, right, for the next chapter. You start off with only your own chapter, not even the previous one. Yeah. I guess we can ignore the going backwards. I mean that's like a rare-ish use case, like we could ship without it, I suppose. I think going forwards has to be changeable.
Yeah. I think maybe let's not focus on that first.
Yep.
Because okay, so imagine. So this is what I'm thinking, right? You have something loaded on your page, and it has a URL attached to it. When you scroll down far enough, the URL changes, right? Now that whole process just basically involves adding more images to the start and to the end and all that kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, I think the most important thing now is figuring out how to unload the images as like a performance thing, because that's something that definitely will come up as an issue. There's no way you can have thousands of images on your page. And
if you want to ship it really fast, right, you can just, when you hit the last image, there'll be like an over scroll, and then when you over scroll, you just like navigate.
Yeah, but over scrolling doesn't work well on the web, hey?
Well, as in like not actually over scroll. Like when you hit the last image, there'll be like next chapter kind of thing. Just make the next chapter divided bigger, and then once the entire thing goes into view, like once you hit the end of the next chapter, then you just navigate. If that makes any sense. So
no,
so
that
go
makes
to
sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. You just need to like make sure it feels okay. Yeah, but obviously that's a route change. It's going to be a little bit jittery. It's not as good. I think it works.
Oh, so that's an easy solution then, because then you can just even if you're saying that, just put a button at the top saying previous chapter and a button at the bottom saying next chapter.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to click. Like you don't want this extra much, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like what you can also do is you can actually render two routes. You can render because like your page is a route, but you can also have routes inside your page, right? So you can just like as soon as you hit the bottom, you just render like the other route under it. Yeah. And then you can maybe add in like a spring transition or something to make it look a little less retarded. Just like a slide or something. So it will kind of like look okay. I don't know, like it's just a
Yeah, no, I see your point.
yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we've got a Manga chapter at the moment, which takes in the chapter ID. Yeah, I mean, loads the images that way. I mean, if we're going to do that, we probably have to like refactor the way we do the. Man, this is annoying because like, I'm just thinking as well. Let's just say that I go from this screen here, and I've got my input and my thing. I click say 1664, right? And
Yep.
then how do I go from here to 1663?
You probably have to start the page lower, and then you scroll backwards.
Right. So basically, like the scroll bar right now is at 0. So I start
Yeah,
it
it's
at
kind of
here,
like
and then I have to scroll up.
yeah, but once again, going backwards we can solve later because that's maybe harder. But and it's not really like a real use case. Like, why would you click 164 if you haven't seen 163 right there? It's just your own damn fault. Yeah. So, but I think going forwards is more important. Yeah. So I actually just don't think about going backwards.
Okay, sure.
But I would say go forwards and then deploy would be our goal for the next video or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
It's usable.
yeah, that sounds right. Sounds good.
Yes.
We have a chapter ID. That's that one here, and then we can go to the next chapter. Okay. So probably.
Just yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So I think your lazy loaded image just need to have like a some kind of handler, right?
What do you mean?
Like after like there needs to be a handler, like because you know how the other one had you know how there was like a percent in view. Percent. Yep. So we know how much of the image is in view. So what we can do is append our divider right to the end of the chapter, and then when the divider is 100% in view, we have an on trigger effect.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing for next chapter screen. So basically, if we do something like this, and then we do something like that.
Yep.
Oh.
Make it fat.
Yeah. Ah, crap.
Maybe like 90 VH or something.
Oh, we don't even have styled components, man. It's
fine. It's fine. You only have 100 lines of custom here. That's fine.
Yeah, let's just add a background color red for now. To see that, and then we do div class name. Man, I need the new AMD Threadripper.
The Ryzen 9.
No, I don't know, the 32 core one. I need that one. Mac is too slow. Imagine recording videos on that, man. You'd never get lag.
I mean, I think I won't get lag recording on my Mac. It's not that new.
I don't believe you. I honestly don't believe you. I don't believe that the 16-inch MacBook Pro can do what I'm doing now with less lag. Like, I don't think so.
Maybe you're just doing it wrong.
Maybe I'm bad, yeah. Okay.
Like, what? I have so many things open. Like, IntelliJ itself is freaking ridiculous. So, like, I can have YouTube Music open, VS Code, and then, like, 2 servers running. And be zooming or recording. Because I have, like, the Loom app to record.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I don't do duo, I just single record.
Yeah, maybe I'm bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't lag. It's just you. Yeah.
Here we go. We can use this. Whoa. So we do that. Oops. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I wasn't paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, it's fine. I wasn't either. I'm just copy pasting stuff. Probably still hello, or I guess visible to that extent. Um,
Yeah.
What's the threshold again? And what's the root ref? Oh, the root ref is the freaking.
Scroll container.
It's the it's the wrapper. So we can just provide that as well, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Do that, and then root ref, and I don't know. I'm glad to see how this works. Well, it's broken. What's broken?
Type of undefined. No.
What is this?
It's telling you you're bad.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah, like even your password is slow now.
That was so fast. What's wrong with you?
I need to move my camera.
This speed was fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. It was fine. It's just zoom lagging.
Wait, why is it giving me this error though?
No such file. Manga chapter.jsx. You have no such file, dude.
No, it's right here. Oh, the cache. Yeah. Dumb. Oh well. Let's try that again. This is what I don't like about Parcel, man. It's like everything's good until you start seeing what's bad. And then you realize it's not so good. It's like Google, you know.
Fine, you just clear the cache and
everything on Google's free.
Like, have you seen people's webpacks, man? Like, I've seen like 500 line webpack files.
They're doing it wrong.
Like,
That's the only reason. It's the only reason. It's like the because usually I find what happens is they take the create React app one, and they try to build off of that.
No, really. This is like, I mean, I know what you mean. Those are actually wrong, but this is like slightly different. This is like, it's actually right, but it's like just wrong. It's because like it's an enterprise project, so there's like 50 billion apps in this one repo, like monorepo, right? And the Webpack is trying to load everything, so everyone's adding their own like custom rules for their own repo,
okay.
and it just
right.
acts like a bunch of line. Yeah. We're talking about like, I don't even know how big the repo is. 4 gigabytes, like a gig or something.
What kind of download speeds, like internet speeds, do you get at work?
Oh, I never checked, but it's fast enough. Like, I never checked, but it's fast enough. Yeah, it's faster than my home. That's all I
Dude, business internet is ridiculous. I want to get business internet at home, honestly. I don't know if I can, but I want to.
But a lot of the cap is not you, it's like the server. So like, say YouTube, right? It knows you're not business streaming. Like, so it just streams at a low speed anyway. Like, basically, the bottleneck is in your internet.
Really?
Yeah. Like, 4 people, I'm on 50 megabits per second, right? Or 49 or whatever. And 4 people can be using it in my home at the same time, and we don't really feel a slowdown. It's because the cap is a good example is you know how there's like those download managers where it splits the file up into like 6 streams and downloads it in parallel. Yeah. It's like a really old technology before you're born. Anyway, so like if you download with one source of download stream, say you get like 10 megabits a second, but if you split it into like 5, you'll get like 5 times 10 because they're capping each stream. Yeah. So I think it's like that. So even though you get faster internet, you're not going to see a faster experience simply because a lot of servers just, serving to consumers, not business.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the thing? It is down there, and it is 0 by 0. Am I bad?
Why is it 0 by 0? What's your? Oh, there's no width.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be 0 by 0. Or what the heck? Yeah. Wait, what?
Wait. It's 100 by 0.
Why though?
Why is it by 0? Why is it by hyper?
Is it because of like the freaking flex? Yeah. But still, like, it shouldn't be 0. What? Am I bad?
Well, yeah, even if it flexes, why is it 0? If it flex like 1, what happens?
No, flex 1 is completely. different, I think. Okay, I pretty much removed everything. Oh, because the images are absolute or something. No. Even, okay, one image is fine. Two is fine. Three and
Well, these are just after, right? Do you have an image before it?
Yeah, no. It's because it doesn't matter. See, I can put it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's because I think I know why. It doesn't make sense, but like basically, okay, it's the max height of this. No, it doesn't work. Not here. Height auto maybe, but it should be height auto by default. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't know why. These divs might tell you why. No, they don't tell you why. Nope. That's the first. Seen that?
Shouldn't you have a div and an element inside the div, and the element inside the div as a height?
Oh, maybe it's just because you need some text. Yeah, maybe that's why. Wait, but the height is still wrong.
That is still wrong.
Yeah.
But you should have a div because the flex is on a div, right? And then that next chapter should be inside a div.
Yeah, but I've never had this problem before. That's weird. Anyways.
Well, you can do that, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose.
What's wrong?
I would have thought the wrapping div would be on the, the other file, but it's fine.
Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Nah.
Doesn't really matter. Doesn't. Well,
yeah,
it does matter.
Yeah, this makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Second pair of eyes, and then it's still 0.
What do you think of like actual pair programming in a workplace?
You need to do it properly. So ideally, you want someone that has already put. So what you want someone like the navigator, right? No, sorry, the driver. Which one's the driver again?
The one that writes the code. So me.
Yep. So the driver would not know too much about the code base. Like they might be tackling a new problem or like a new area of the code base. So I'm not saying they're a good or a bad coder. They're just like don't know much about it. A good example is let's say I'm working on Spotify or some crap like, yeah. And then like I've been working half a year on the actual play button or the music player. And then I've been given a task to do something with playlist. Yep. So that's the perfect time for pair programming. So then someone that is very knowledgeable, like very senior knowledgeable about the playlist will be sitting next to me and then I'll be, trying to work on the playlist. So it's, like that, it's very effective in that way. Yeah. I don't think it's very effective if you're both sitting down and looking at like an algorithm where like both of you have basically the same knowledge and then you're just trying to like do it.
So in your eyes, like the navigator is basically someone who has like more experience in a particular area of the product. So say for example, if we both work at Google and you do just big picture, let's just say that I'm building Gmail and you're building like you've done work on search and now I've got to do something inside of search. So then we would pair program and you would be like the navigator to say, hey, look, this is how, the system works and is put together, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the value comes from. Yeah. I know it's not a lot of people do that. A lot, like obviously, if the actual coding, like if the coding ability is different, for example, a senior and a junior or something, then obviously a senior naturally there's like some value there, right? Because the senior can spot bugs or like better way of doing things or kind of like cut them short when they're going down the wrong path. But this is talking about like equal level. So equal level dev. Yeah. The problem with pairing with like an equal level dev and then pairing on like the same domain of knowledge is that you're going to have different ideas and different ways to solve things. And there's no right or wrong, right? So it's like, you just might get into a situation where like one person just disagrees, but like they don't really have a good enough reason or they can't defend themselves good enough.
Yeah.
Since you're both at that level. And then it's like, well, what are you doing? You're just having fun instead of coding.
Yeah,
Which is fine too. I don't think it's more productive than solo coding at that point.
I think that's fair. Like, I think your point there is fair. But like, one of the issues I guess I see is like, you know, from a business's point of view, the business wants to make money, right? They don't want to hire like 10 devs and get the work of 5 devs done. Like, they want to hire 10 devs and get 10 to 15 devs work done. So in that situation, like, how does pair programming kind of factor into that? Like, if you pair program, you've got one set of hands typing on a keyboard for 2 people. So does that slow things down? Does that reduce productivity? And like, how does that kind of benefit the business in the long run?
Well, not really, because like in software, in all engineering, even but less in software, a mistake is very costly. Like this is what 100% will happen in every company. Like I would be so surprised if there's no company in the world that has lasted more than a year where this hasn't happened. Where there's a solution, the solution seems okay, but actually in hindsight, it was quite bad. Or like there's something that just doesn't work with something else you're doing in the future. For example, it's like you build a certain, I don't know, search algorithm or something like that, right? And then you realize that there's like certain queries where you need for like a certain feature and you just can't do it simply because the way the database is set up. Okay, this is an example that we had, right? So like where we worked before, someone had the idea to just put a unstructured JSON blob in an entire like row or like a column, sorry. So the problem is, and then we kept storing crap in that column, but it's unqueryable because it just comes back as a blob. So we're putting in all these data, right, that like we potentially want to know about. We can render it, but like we can't query it because it's in a blob. And then later on, right, someone was like, we wanted to, you know, do some smart AI stuff, which analyzes all this data. Well, now like 90% of your data is just in a blob. It's like, we can't even query it. So how do we analyze it? Do we like go through each row and parse it? You know, he's like, you're stupid. So like that decision just doesn't work. And a lot of these like companies cannot go back because it's like the refactor would mean, you know, maybe like talking to partners, changing things, basically like a rewrite. Yeah. So I think when you pair program, if someone has a good domain knowledge, right, they can like identify these things because they know more about like the domain and like things about how it should work and how things coming in the future because it's like their domain. Whereas if you don't know anything about the domain, you can get the task done, but your solution might block future roadmap features or other stuff. So it's a net loss basically.
Do you think it's necessarily based upon experience? Like, do you think there is a situation where, like, say for example, like a mid-level engineer could kind of drive like pair program with a senior, and the mid-level acts as the navigator? Do you see that as being like a possibility?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, easily. Titles don't mean anything, and to be honest, I think some people might disagree, but I think after about 3 to 5 years, you've normally reached like 80% or if not 90% of your potential with everything. Like if you take anything seriously, say a sport, right? After like 4 or 5 years, right, you would know whether they are professional quality or not. Like the ability, you know, will they ever hit that level? So I think even for like mid-level engineers, which 4 to 5 years, there are still a lot of mid/senior levels. It doesn't matter. Like they can be better at JavaScript, better at the code, and know more about the domain than a senior. Where a lot of like seniority comes from is sometimes more like politics, how to handle people, how to like receive features from higher level and then driving it to success, like kind of these skills. It doesn't really have that much to do with like sit down coding or even quality of coding. Yeah. A good example is like some seniors are just really good at like keeping tabs on everything, like just making sure everything is in order. Well, that's not me. Like I'm kind of scrappy. So I just wake up and I'd be like, oh, what's on my calendar? And I just find things. Whereas like some seniors just have everything, in like Trello or something. And like they're on top of everything. You ask them anything, they know exactly what customer is complaining about what. Yeah. And for me, I don't know. I know someone complained, but I can't tell you who complained. Yeah. So there's like different skills, not necessarily coding related. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair enough. I think that's one thing as well is like, is sometimes obviously everyone says the same stuff. Like, yeah, it's not all about coding ability. I think a big part of being a senior is the coding ability. I don't think like I do think you can become a senior and be crap at coding. And unfortunately that is too true. But like I think generally, like if we're talking textbook theory, is like part of being a senior is having the ability one to like the more senior you go, obviously the more leadership and management of people. And the second thing is just the ability. One thing I think you didn't really mention is like articulating ideas. Like for example, as a senior, if someone asks you what are you working on, you can't just be like, oh, some JavaScript file. You can't be like, I'm working on login wrapper.js. Like no one knows what that means, right? The person asking never cares about that. Yeah. So you have to be able to say like, I'm working on the login or the authentication feature and how that ties into, because no one cares about the files you work on. Like you could write, from a stakeholder's point of view or a boss, like they don't, if you write one line of code and you get the work done, it's like, good on you. From their point of view, they really don't care.
Good on you. Good on everyone. I agree. I do agree as well. Like my expectation is always a certain level of, technical ability, but the problem is it's subjective. Like it's hard to be in a meeting and be like, your code is just not good enough. Like that doesn't seem to play well in today's standards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think one other thing as well is like, so this actually brings me to a point. Like recently I had someone I was consulting with, right? A client who was like in an interview process. And basically in the interview, they asked him what's his primary programming language for the server side. And he said, I use node.js, I use Lambda. So perfectly reasonable response, right? Like that's literally his CV and it's on his CV. They interview him and they start laughing at him for saying that. And they're like, and I obviously wasn't in the interview. I don't know the details, but from what I can tell, it's like they were mocking him for using node.js as opposed to their solution, which was...
Wait, you mean the company was mocking the interviewer?
So the interviewer, so basically like they're on a Zoom call as well, right? And like say I'm the interviewer, I ask you, I'm like, hey, so what backend language do you use? And you're like, I use Node.js, I use JavaScript. And then like from what I know, like I said, I wasn't in the interview, but from what I know, the company guys, like a couple of people started laughing. And they're like, haha, laughing, whatever. And they're like, oh, we actually use PHP. And like, I don't know the context, but it does sound like it was said from a point of superiority, So, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like companies like this exist, and people, regardless of what this scenario actually was, like this actually did happen. But regardless of what exactly it meant and all of that, like what it tells you is that like there is so much subjectivity here, and like so many people are like, in my opinion, wrong. Like if you tell me that you think PHP is better than JavaScript, I'll plain think you're wrong. But that doesn't mean that I'm right. Like I think I'm right, but I don't know if my opinion is perfect or whatever. So
I totally agree. Like even like for loop, like we both think for loop is pretty bad. Like you should almost never see a for loop in today's code. Like why are you using a for loop, right? Unless if you're doing something optimized, like. But like some people just love for loop. They think there's no problem, if the code is full of while and for loops, if statements, it's fine. But like to me, it's just not good.
Yeah. There are people who like you said before as well, like instead of using .map, they prefer to create an array, then do a for loop, loop through and push in.
I just think that's not senior level. Even if you can get the task done, it's just the code is not good. Yeah, but it's subjective. It's hard to argue. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm thinking here for the threshold is it's going to say keep scrolling to go to the next chapter. So basically for the threshold, what I'm doing now is I'm figuring out, obviously like at 0.9, so basically 90% visible, we can redirect, right? But what I want to do is like, for example, if I go here, I see keep scrolling to go to the next chapter. I scroll a little bit more, and then I see like almost like keep scrolling ... and then they go a little bit more, and then it says almost there, and then when they finally get there, it goes green or something, and then it redirects them. So it's just like a bit of UX stuff. So maybe like 0.3, 0.6, 0.9. And then so what this will allow me to do is if I have a look at entries dot intersection ratio, or entry 0 dot ratio. Now wait for this to build.
Yeah, for IX, it could be like next chapter and then an arrow pointing downwards.
What's IX?
Just like content or something. So UX is user experience, right?
Yeah.
information experience or something.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's more about like the text on the screen,
Oh, okay.
like the actual text, not the buttons and crap. If your company can afford to hire 2 people for that, yeah. Usually it's just
Yeah,
one person.
they just call it UI UX, like yeah, designer guy.
Yeah, just that guy.
Man,
Yeah, everyone
design
calls
work is
that guy.
hard, man. Have you like used like Figma and Sketch before?
I've used Figma, Sketch, and InVision, but I
Yeah,
use them very lightly. Obviously, not a pro.
it's hard.
It is so hard.
It is
It's
actually hard.
also so hard because you have to work with. It's even more subjective than code, and you have to work with other designers, which may or may not agree to what you're doing, or like ex designers that have set design principles that is like totally against what you think is good. A very good example is I really dislike designs where like buttons vanish from the screen. Let's just say you have a sort, right?
Yeah.
Like you sorted a column, and there's a button that says reset sort or something, you know, because just to clear the sort. Like I really hate if that button wasn't there if there's no sort. So you sort something, the button comes up, and then when you unsort, the button vanishes. The reason I think it should always be there, just grayed out. The reason is because like when stuff comes on and off the UX, like this is a simple feature so people understand, but if it's a bit more complicated, people are like, oh, where's this function? Like, why is there no button? And like they just don't understand how to get that function, right? Because the button is not there. Whereas if you have the button there but grayed out, at least you know that you've said if something is wrong, and you can maybe put a tooltip on the button saying why it's not enabled. And also for accessibility, if the button is not there, how the hell is like screen readers meant to read it? Right? It's just like, yeah, there's like so many things that I think is bad with that design.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think that's fair. Dude, honestly, some people don't get design, man. They really don't. Like there are so many developers. Like, because my background, I come from a background where I taught myself how to code, and I had to. There were many times when I was doing projects, and I had to do like the majority of the coding. Like I was pretty much
the code, but you have a degree. What does that mean?
What do you mean?
How to code, but you have a degree. What does that mean?
What'd you say?
You have a degree, right?
Yeah, I have a degree, but I learned to code way before I got my degree. Way before.
Okay, sure.
So basically, but by the time I went to uni, I was playing World of Warcraft in uni. So
you played WoW. I didn't have.
No, I played WoW to get the because at the time, there were friends I had from high school who were playing Hearthstone. So I played Hearthstone with them, and they had a free promotion to get Lady Liadrin, the World of Warcraft character. So I played up until level 20 as like some goblin rogue or something. I don't even know. I don't understand anything about World of Warcraft. So don't try me. But
okay, I don't understand. Yeah, I haven't played it. Okay. Why is it not reversed? Almost there.
What do you mean?
It'd be like keep going.
No, because it's just greater than.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
So I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, but basically, because I learned to code, like I had to do in many of the projects I worked on, and like to actually get good, I had to do like pretty much all the coding, or like a lot of it. So what that meant is that, you know, coding plus design plus, you know, QA plus like database and like everything, basically like a true full stack developer, you know. So what that meant is like I couldn't design interfaces that look like crap, and if I did, then you know, I get I get crap on for it, so I can't really do that.
I totally agree. But interesting fact is this is like, isn't this Marine Forge? It's like mid chapter, man. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think there's a lot of hand in hand. A lot of the better coders, like the people I think are good at coding, also understand design to some degree. Like they know when something just doesn't make sense. Like it's because when you design code is kind of similar, right? Like the design of your code, the goal is so that it's easy to use and easier to read. You know, like everyone can actually hack the solution together. You can have like a very good example, right? Is like if you have an online test or something, you can literally just have the if statements and you can pass the test. So technically it hits the specification, right? Just have like a billion if statements for every single possible input.
Yeah. Oh,
But it's actually
that reminds me of the thing. Anyways, go on.
the playground, yeah. Yeah, so very similarly, like the point when people write code, just because it works doesn't mean it's good code. And what makes it a good code is if it's legible, readable, easy to use, and like less fragile. Like, because you can design APIs in a way where it's just like less error prone. Yeah, like instead of passing like 10 props that needs to be aligned, you pass in like one prop or an object and it infers like some of the other props or something like that. Just like less chance of mistakes. Yeah, and I think that has got something to do, like that skill has got something to do with just general like usability. Yeah, because like some devs is like they create a feature, right? But the feature doesn't really work, if you know what I mean. Like it sort of works, but in real life, if you think about it, if you actually use it, it's not actually like helping anyone. Yeah.
So many people do that. They don't get it. It's like if you're like just sometimes they build something and I honestly ask myself like would you ever use that? Would you ever feel comfortable using that? It's like if you design a house and I don't know, like you put the toilet under the sink or something, and it's like, yeah, like you have a toilet, you have a sink, but like, would you ever, ever buy that house?
Like, yeah, it's like, clearly it's not usable. Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, I've seen it a lot of times. A lot of dev-driven features, it's just like, it's just not nice, man. Like, it's just not nice. Yeah, it shouldn't be in the product. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Maybe the function is good, whatever it's trying to do, but it's just not doing it in the right way. Yeah.
I think like part of becoming a better developer as well, like one of the things that I think is like makes you a better developer, like the hallmarks of a better developer, is like your code is actually simpler. So for example, if I was going to write, as a simple example, like a Fibonacci or a factorial function, right? Really simple function. The way I end up writing it is actually simpler than someone with maybe like less ability or less skills than me.
Yeah.
And that kind of
problem is like, I feel like there needs to be some of ground knowledge for it to be like, it's simpler to you and other seniors, but there's like concepts in there that is difficult, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like the code is simple once you understand the concept. Otherwise, the junior might look at it and say, what's going on? Because all they understand is like if statements, right? Yeah, like I get what you mean.
Sometimes that's the case. I think sometimes. Wait, you can't do that. No,
yes,
you can. Yeah. I think sometimes that's the case, but like some other times, like what I mean is like, for example, instead of using a for loop, I'll choose to use a for each or use a map because it's shorter. It's not necessarily like harder to read. Like I know what you mean. Like sometimes you can use like a lambda or like a reducer, and those concepts are fundamentally harder to understand. So like I get that, but there are many times when it's not about writing like harder code. It's just like if I want to add something into an object, like just I have one function and it makes sense, and I have another function that makes sense, and when I join them together, it still makes sense, right? But I feel like there are people who they have one function that kind of makes sense, they have one that kind of makes sense, and then when they join it together, they go like this, and they just like turn it into some mangled mess, and it just it's not very fun.
Which is why exactly. Totally agree. And with the for loop for each thing, the reason, one of the big reasons why it's like simpler is because you don't need to specify the count, and you don't need to do the decrement increment.
You also don't need to do I don't like I.
Yeah, like those are things where like people can get wrong, right? Like if you update something and then like why do you have to declare all these variables that are basically implicit anyway, right? Like, you just want to loop over the whole array, so just use for each. I think data manipulation is a tough topic. Like I'm all about manipulating it in a functional way.
Oh, I think so many people don't know how to do that properly. Like they actually don't know how to, like if I say to you now, this is an array and I don't want you to do any math, just take these properties out of the array and put it into an object and calculate like the frequency or something, right? There are many people, many developers, like legit developers who can't do that properly. And it's shocking.
Really ugly. I totally agree. Yeah, like.
So I mean, if you're watching the video now and you're like, how can I be a good developer? Like work on that. Seriously, it comes up like if we're talking about real life programming concepts that are useful, this is probably as close as you're going to get to something that is actually like, look at that. Oh,
Transforming data is probably the most important part, really. Like
oh,
everything else.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Just change text color as well, but yeah, that's pretty close.
And we'll work on the IX a little bit, like the content of that div.
All right, sure.
Thanks. Yeah, so you can pick the background color.
Okay, how do you want to change the IX?
So can you go to the app and scroll slowly because it lags on my Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So what's the first phase?
Keep going.
Almost.
Well, it's like here, which is like
Yeah. So I think
that part's actually bad. I don't like that.
I mean that's fine. Realistically, that we'll only see that for like a split second.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. So I think it should say next chapter and an arrow pointing down.
So you mean here?
No, I mean on the first phase.
Oh, the first phase. Okay. Yeah. Downward arrow. Can we just grab the
You can just grab Unicode, just do a line break, and then center the text.
Here we go. Easy. You know you can use emojis as variable names?
I don't, but I think you mentioned it before.
I think I did. Oh, crap. Wait, no, it definitely works. Oh, maybe it's...
You mentioned this before. You had the exact same comment before. But anyway, I believe in you.
It might have been, I don't know, it might have been another language. I don't know.
Like, I was thinking of like, it's next chapter, and then a line break, and then an arrow. You know, what is this like arrow and next chapter arrow thing? It's like, it doesn't even look like an arrow.
Mate, I don't wanna do like...
It's the Unicode down arrow, dude. It's Unicode.
Fragments, man.
Just pick a Unicode down arrow, bro.
I mean, I could do this.
Yeah, there's a
No. Yay.
It's the other way around as well. The arrow should come after on the next line.
Mate, I usually don't use this stuff, okay? I normally use like proper coding techniques like styled components. I don't work with this crappy less global, less file, man.
Well, I'll use your thing. Do you want to finish it this year or not? As your comment.
This is a perfect example of how company politics work, right? For example, you and I, right? We represent two development teams, okay? And we're working on a feature together. And this whole time I've been telling you that your implementation is garbage and you refuse to listen to me, right? So it carries forward to a certain point and the resentment from my team starts to boil over. And then I say to you, your code sucks, right? And I start to be like a little bit passive aggressive, but you come straight back and you go full passive aggressive. If you want to deliver this feature, which you do, because if you don't, you're probably going to get fired, etc., then you better listen to me. And then all of a sudden, this whole project becomes under your control and I have no say in it. So this is a perfect example of how company politics play out. Like can't be any better.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. That's kind of true.
Toxic work culture, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
My computer's trash as well.
Some companies it's fine, but in some previous companies, what I generally do is just agree on a set of API, like the contract. So it's like, I didn't care how you implement it, but here is the contract. Just follow the damn contract. If you deliver this, we're unblocked. We go. I don't care what your code looks like. Yeah, like
that's actually a good attitude. I think your attitude is good. Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's not my team. I can't tell them that code is bad.
You just gotta keep like nodding, like just keep nodding. Just like
yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, like, even if you tell them the code is bad and you fix like one, I don't know, q.java file or something, there's like a billion other Java files, and you can't be there to fix all of them because you're not in that team.
And you can't fix them. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like the problem is out of your control.
Dude, this is fine. Okay.
It's not fine.
Oh my gosh, what do you want? What do you want?
Does it look like an arrow, man? Does it look like an arrow?
Okay, it's a triangle. Downward triangle's an arrow.
It's not. It's not. It just looks like a little...
Okay. This one. Happy?
Yeah, the big fat one. That is not an arrow. There was a better arrow just next. No, no, no. There was literally a better arrow.
Which one? This
Yes,
one. This one.
no, no, the one on the second last row, the big fat down arrow.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, yeah.
How many?
Beautiful.
1 or 5?
Just one.
One. Okay.
But have it like centered.
Mm.
Like, yeah. And it might be a bit smaller.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Yo, I can't even scroll too quickly because then the images like they don't load properly and it messes me up.
Yeah, we should have picked the shorter chapter.
All right. Here we go. It's not centered.
That looks different than the one you put.
Okay.
That was your old one, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh my gosh, dude, my computer's like. I should start a GoFundMe, man. I really want. Oh, I did tell you about the Doom Pro, right? The case.
No.
The one like the Mac Pro duplicate case. It looks exactly. like
yeah. I want to. Yeah,
I want that one too. I want that one too. But it's like it's stuck in China. So because of basically they had delays, and then coronavirus came, and now they have more delays, and they're expected to give an update in like early June, but they haven't done that yet. So I'm looking forward to getting one as well.
Order 2 and bill me. I'll
Yeah,
pay you.
dude, for real. There's this YouTube channel called Morgonaut. She does like Hackintosh and like stuff like that. Apparently, she's successfully built a 32 core Threadripper Hackintosh with like no issues with iMessage, no issues with Adobe. So it's like it's basically like as good as you can get, like but with AMD.
I mean,
so
my Hackintosh is like you can get everything working, but you're always scared of the upgrade. Like it's like, oh, there's an update. Should I update?
Oh,
Nope.
updates in Catalina are so good now. Like like my computer I'm recording this one on now, Hackintosh, right? The other day I just screw it. You know, I just updated from I think 10.15.3 to 10.15.4. No problem. Like it just updated like normal, and then it restarted. Everything still works. I think a big part of it is like the graphics, because that's something that breaks like a lot of the time. But now there's no graphics issues, so it's fine. It's still reloading though.
There's something wrong there. It's a freaking error. Why does it take so long to reload?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still on Mojave for this computer because I know there's some Xcode incompatibility. Like
because it's your work computer, right?
Yeah, everyone upgrade had to be like Xcode or something. I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
So is it possible for you guys to use Catalina, or is it like completely not possible?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's no block.
Like,
you just upgrade to Mojave. I upgraded to Mojave before it was officially sanctioned because it had dark. But like, what do I get from Catalina?
Yeah, that's true. Do you use full dark mode on Mac or like half dark mode?
I am full dark mode, right?
So what does your Finder look like?
It's dark.
Because I like this Finder. I don't like the dark one.
I mind this.
Right. Because I use this one because I like full dark mode. It's a crappy experience for me. And also back when I used I don't know now, but Chrome looks really bad on dark mode. Like the theme is like half broken or something. The search bar. Yeah, I think they fixed it though. But when I don't like it. Yeah, so I have dark everything, but like wait, what? It's still broken.
It's not good yet. It's clear and redo. You still have to download, I think, a plugin to get the Google search page.
The dark one? Yeah, I use Bing. I don't even use Google. You know, every time you search on Bing, they give you 3 Microsoft points. And if you get 25,000 points, you can redeem a $10 gift card from the Microsoft store.
Really?
Mm.
Oh gosh.
In the US, you can redeem an Amazon gift card, which would be nice, but unfortunately, they don't have that here. I have like 75,000 points now, and it's the same. Like Bing and Google, it's mostly the same. Like 99% of stuff is the same.
I should use Bing then.
Yeah, use Bing, man. Yeah, give your data to Microsoft. Like, stop giving it all to Google.
Well, they don't GitHub anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like, it's nothing I'm searching that is worse than giving them my source code, I guess.
But then again, like you're not really giving them your source code. You're giving your company your source code, and then your company is giving it to them. So.
Oh yeah. I'll talk about my personal stuff. Yeah.
I thought you don't code outside of work.
I don't.
Yeah,
I actually don't.
Yeah.
My GitHub is empty now. Like the last activity is like over a year ago.
Really? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I just don't touch it. Do enough coding, man.
I think people get greedy. They do. Like, people get really greedy. I think coding's part of it as well. It's like, for example, if your day job is laying bricks, right, in like China, and you get paid like $5 a day or $5 an hour to do it, you know, your whole life, and then all of a sudden you get an opportunity to move to Australia with your family, right? And then you're pushing your kids to like become doctors and engineers and crap, and then your kid, you know, goes off and becomes a software engineer at Atlassian, and you're like, you know, or like in our case, Atlassian, Canva, Google is like hardest to get into, but like, you know, big company, big money, right? They get in, and then all of a sudden, they're like, to them, they become complacent because they've never had the bricklaying life, you know? So then from like your point of view, my point of view, it's like, yeah, I go to work, I code 8 hours a day. I spend 1 hour of that just waiting for, you know, something to build. I spend another 2 hours for like QA, and like I spend 3 hours a day asleep in meetings, you know? So at the end of it, it's like, oh, this is so boring. I hate my life as a coder. But then you don't look at that past. So then, so now for us, we're looking at, you know, the managers and the CTOs and whatever who earn like, you know, 5-6 times more than we do. And we're like, we want that. We don't want what we have now. We want that, you know? It's just,
there's some truth to it, but yeah, see, why is the arrow so ugly, man?
No, that's just the arrow. That's not my fault anymore. That's honestly, because
but it's still better than what you had before.
See, it's that arrow.
It's still better than what you had before.
Okay, all right, whatever. You've proved your point. Okay, I'm happy to use this. You can
just clean up when we actually deploy.
Okay, keep going. Almost there.
Well, keep going. The arrow should stay there. We need like just put an arrow in all of it.
All of them. Okay, in that case.
Yeah, just screen text. React fragment arrow. Oh, the other span. Nice. Yeah, good enough. And you got to move the text align, right?
No, the text align is on here, so that's fine.
Yeah. All right, I'll go in and put a real arrow, big arrow. But actually, more the reverse, because like I worked in, you know, I'm a hard worker, man. I worked in Subway for like uni. Part-time. I saved up for my everything, like my first car,
really?
Everything. I never got any money from my parents.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I know the tough life, man. I came from the bottom, man. Not really. But I actually worked.
you came from a middle income family, and now you made it. Yeah. Started from the middle. Now we're here, boys. Yeah. We could use this. I mean, if you want to use this, we could do that.
Oh yeah, we have ad design. Beautiful. We have a better.
Oh better gosh, man, far out.
Is it better down? Oh, see, there's some down arrows.
Okay, let's just search down.
Yeah.
All right, which one do you want? This one?
Down. No, the circle one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want it filled or do you want it?
Oh, filled. Filled. Yeah.
Okay. How do I use this thing?
Why doesn't it? I don't know.
Import from ant design icons. Sure.
Yeah, but
crap.
Like a lot of people I know, maybe in other jobs, just banter about the work sometimes. Like maybe they're in a tough job. I find it hard to participate in those conversations because I'm actually grateful for my work, and my company, etc. Yeah, and like I can't really relate. You know, it's like they complain about things. It doesn't really happen where I work.
Yeah.
Like say they complain about like crazy politics or like certain teams bullying other people, pretty much. It doesn't really happen to me. So it's like, what can I say, right?
Yeah.
And I also find that if I say too many good things about my job, people don't really want to hear it anyway.
Yeah. No one wants to hear it, man. They just want to hear. They want to hear you suffer. They want to hear you suffer.
No one wants to hear it. Yeah. And can we make the text like 3 times bigger?
Sure. It's like, and sometimes this happens as well. I remember one time in high school, it was like, what happened? There was a test, and the test was out of 120 for maths, right? Maths test, at my high school.
Or like 150 out of 120.
I did okay, right? I got 100 out of 120, which was like, it was good, but like, I was expecting,
90%, dude.
I was expecting better. It's not. It's 83.333%.
Yeah.
But I was expecting better. Okay. Now here's the thing. I go up to my friends and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to do better, because if I do better here, that means other stuff. Basically, I worked out. I wanted a higher score. I wanted like 110 or whatever. And I was like, oh man, I only got 100, right? And my friend's like, dude, I got 84. Can you shut up? It's like I can't complain to him. So I have to go up to like the smartest guy in the grade and be like, oh, look at me, I'm so bad. I can't even complain to them. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, it looks okay. It's acceptable. It doesn't look like good, but it's acceptable.
It's fine. It's fine.
Spacing, padding is horrible, but yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to the feature, otherwise we're not getting done.
All right.
Now.
Well, I guess we can wait for next time for the feature. It's already been
What?
an hour. It's been an hour, dude. It's been an hour. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I work 1 hour a day, okay? 4 hours.
Maybe now like 3 episodes to deployment.
Dude,
okay,
at least. Oh, man. This is going to take a long
Very
time.
chatty today because it's been a while. But
Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, whatever.
I hope there wasn't anything interesting in the code that we skipped. It didn't seem that interesting anyway. It just seems like it just did exactly what you did last time.
All right, I'm just going to go over the code. Basically, we had an intersection observer. I created 3 constants because we don't want to use magic numbers, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. And those identify, we also use those ones here for the intersection ratio as well. So basically, the order of this is very important as well. So basically, we do greater than, so we put them in descending order. So the top one is 0.9, then 0.7, then 0.5, and then we have next chapter if it's none of those. And then we obviously put in the arrow and all that kind of stuff. Next time, what we're going to do is, if it is inside of the start redirect section, if we are going to do that, then instead of rendering this, we obviously render some sort of redirect feature, or maybe like after a delay or something to go to the next screen. So that's something else that we're going to do. And in order to see that, you have to come back next time for another episode of 2 programmers complain about their lives.
AFK for a month.
Yeah,
or maybe, like 2 months.
Maybe in like 2 months' time. I don't know. If I disappear again, you'll know where I am. I'm probably in the quantum realm, taking a dump or something. And once I get back, it'll be 2 months later. So.
Don't seem 5 years smarter than before. Anyway, one thing I want to talk about this code is see your API here. So you have constants, which is fine, but actually I think there can be an improvement, which is instead of having the 3 constants at the top, you want an array with 3 objects, and the objects would hold the percentage. And
I agree.
Then,
the reason I didn't do that is because redirect kind of has its own features. So I can do that. Like, that's what I was thinking as well, is I create an object and like, but then I feel like because for example, we're going to have a use effect, and the use effect is going to say if intersection ratio is greater than start redirect, after a certain period of time, redirect them, right? But if we do that with, I get the point. I think an object would have been fine, but like, I just feel like this works as well. It's probably the same amount of code. So that's actually why. Yeah.
If you want to change things, you would always be at the top, where now you have to kind of
because I guess you're right in the sense that like this is more like config as opposed to logic. So if it's config, it probably belongs where config is. In this case, probably up here. So okay, that's about it. Everything else is pretty much the same. I mean, we didn't really change Manga chapter. We just moved it into here. We still used the same thing as last time, added some global styles, and that's about it. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for following along, and hope you've enjoyed the session, and see you guys next time, sometime in the future, maybe. Just subscribe and turn on the bell, whatever. I don't know what the bell does, man. Like, it gives you notifications or something.
It guarantees a notification.
It doesn't guarantee. It sometimes gives you a notification. I've had channels where I've clicked the bell and nothing. Anyways, click the bell if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. New videos coming when I feel like it. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See ya.